All right. All right. Well, so last and certainly not least by any stretch of the imagination is really cool stuff with Safari. And so let me pass it over to the Safari team, and you guys have
Yes.
the last word. Thanks.
And you can hear me, and let me see if I can make full view of the screen so that everybody see that. Can you see that as well?
Screen looks great. Thanks.
Okay, fantastic. So Safari is an acronym. It's Scientific Analytics, Forensic, and Reproducibility for Workflow in Cyber Infrastructure. This is collaboration with Eva Dilma, University of Southern California, and I'm Michela Taufer, University of Tennessee, Knoxville. We both have a passion for workflow, Eva and I, and what we are observing is that they're becoming more and more complex, more and more modular, and often we also see that they embed automations at the level also of AI. And so the idea we had was to integrate what we call forensic data analytics, which is a procedure slash an approach in which we want to modularize workflow, and this is something that is already happening. But in this modularization, we want also to embed provenance and verification, and we want to do that in a way that is automated, so that we can check the integrity of data automatically. And so the key point is here indeed to take this containers, these modules that are combining and become blocks for this complex workflow, containerize them. And in the process of containerization, we are creating artifacts that are persistent, because we are not only containerizing the individual application or codes that are composing the workflow, but we can also containerize data so that they become persistent, especially if they are data that are intermediate data and otherwise would be thrown away. So with this effort, we hope that we can then build this provenance of data transformation and eventually provide the user of this workflow with something that can be trusted, can be reused, and can also conduct to aspect of reproducibility. So as I said, the deliverable are indeed interoperable building blocks that are artifact, toolchain, automation practices. It's done through containerized workflow modules. And here we hope to build a hub of these modules so that people can reuse or can also contribute. We want to integrate automated forensic verification. And that means that it is not something that the user have to go inside the individual modules and instrument the application or the execution, but it's done automatically. And in doing that, we want to train community student and researcher so that they understand the principle of forensic analytic, they integrate that in their own workflows, and they eventually can reach a point in which they can indeed explain the transformation of data across their workflow, making trustworthy, reusable, and reproducible their science. We see some challenges in doing that, especially because we see the fact that aspect of containerization at the fine grain as we envision can introduce aspect of complexity, overhead, but we see also a long-term payoff, especially in an environment in which we more and more are asked scientists to trust us. We implement for them and we make them available with very powerful modular workflow. But then when it is time to explain and reason about result that we observed, we have really very little information. And so we hope that this approach of forensic analytic can allow us to augment execution with reasoning and data. It's a 3-year project starting October 1st, but we are already working together, and we are leveraging resources within NSF, like the access resources. And of course, we are looking for collaboration. We have some workflows that we are working on in the environment of earth sciences, hydrology, soil, moisture, food production. But if any of you has workflows that could serve the purpose of expanding to other application, we will be pleased to work with you and envision how to apply our approach to your workflow through the forensic analytic. And with that, I am done and stop sharing, and I'm pleased to answer questions.
Wow, fantastic. Thank you. So this is all great stuff, right? I think, and you ended at a great spot there, which is sort of, one of the intentions of having this sort of meeting is to let people know about other stuff going on. So we've got really interesting workflows in earth sciences in the case of Safari, but also really interesting workflows in food science from FoodGuard and from Quantum with Cure, and of course there are many other CC projects on here. So I'll let Justin. Justin's got a question. So Justin, yeah, go ahead.
Is it appropriate for me to ask a question or to
Yes,
say
Of
something?
course.
Oh, Michela, so I think what you're doing is
Hi.
really interesting. I wonder how tied it is to like containers as a technology, if I understand correctly, because there are other things people are starting to do for isolation that
Mhm.
would give you a lot of the properties you want that are much finer grained. So they would remove some of the problems. So I think maybe I just want to kind of say, hey, we should talk at some
Yeah,
point, and
yeah,
you should just have
absolutely.
this as something on your radar, whether it makes sense or not. I don't know, but
Yes, the sooner the better, I would say, because we are starting. You're starting in January, so it's a great time now to connect and brainstorm so that we can merge or perhaps integrate each other ideas. We are using Singularity slash obtainers right now because of there are several advantages. First of all, we can develop plugins that are very easy to apply and use. There is no constraints contrary to other type of containerization on routes, access, but it's a means for the purpose of trustworthiness, reusability, and reproducibility. So let's get in touch. Absolutely.
super, thank you.
Fantastic, and that's part of what we hope to achieve by these meetings, right? Is this kind of thing. We are very supportive of that. We can, to the extent NSF can help with that, we're happy to do so. I should say the other thing here, right, is so at this point we've connected you guys with folks like NDP and OSDF. And we kind of introduced the teams to each other. We tried to put the groups together. We tried to kind of be respectful of your time. We appreciate you guys giving us an extra hour today in addition to the original brief. But there is no mandate to collaborate, and we to the best of our ability, we tried to group some projects that might have some similarity and interest together. But by no means say like this is the 5 that you should look at, right? There's 20 cool new CC awards. There's old existing CC awards. Collaboration is always encouraged. Collaboration is also not required, right? There is no mandate to say, I will, go work with OSDF or NDP or work with one of my colleagues here. So you wrote a great proposal. You got a great award, but please use Kevin, myself, Amy Apon as needed. For the next week or so, we may be a little bit unavailable. We'll kind of see what happens on the government side, but hopefully that will leave you guys largely unaffected. I will throw out one other just random thing there, which is if you do have outstanding NSF administrative actions, I don't believe any of you have anything for CC. I think all that's set, but if you have other outstanding administrative things, I would recommend getting them done in the next day or two, or you may be on pause for a little while, right? So with that, unless anybody has any other questions, I think this is this has been great.
Thank you so much for the opportunity, Dan and Kevin. That was really great indeed.
All right. Well, thank you. Great projects, and let us know how we can help. Right. Thanks.